Michael, we're keeping the hype train alive today, buddy. It's Star Wars Outlaw Leads wants you to know it's not just another Ubisoft open world game. That's right, let's get into it. Jordan Gerblick over at Games Radar. Julian Gerighty, creator director over at Ubisoft's Massive Entertainment, says Star Wars Outlaws won't be like most Ubisoft open world games. Talking to GamesIndustry.biz, Gerighty laid out two key reasons why he thinks Star Wars Outlaws will surprise anyone expecting a typical Ubisoft open world game set in a galaxy far, far away. Quote, "We are hyper conscious of the Ubisoft house style," end quote. Gerighty said, quote, "Massive has always been different. The Division 2 were different. Originally, Massive was an independent studio, then an Activision studio, so it is always thought very differently. The DNA of Massive is quite unique from Ubisoft, but there are so many great lessons to be learned by the Ubisoft way of making games. Ubisoft was billed Star Wars Outlaws as the franchise's first open world game since its reveal. And would you classify, it's got to be Star Wars first open world, right? Like that's where we're talking about, because I'm going, yo, Assassin's Creed is wide open. Like they are massive. But, and Lucasfilms recently heaped a praise on Massive, saying, quote, "There are only so many studios in the world who build games of this scale," end quote. For our Star Wars previews Outlaw, Grady told us in the concept of the open world Star Wars game spawned from a single sentence that also serves as a compact, simplistic, and adapted effectively elevator pitch for the game. Quote, "Be a scoundrel in a galaxy of wonder and opportunity," end quote. We also called it, quote, "one of the most ambitious open world games," end quote, of the year. So there's reason to be hopeful about Star Wars Outlaws breaking out of the Ubisoft open world mold and doing something special. You know, here's the funny part. I was just talking to a good friend of mine from the industry about Star Wars Outlaws yesterday. And he's like, this has to be good. Just for me personally, he says it just needs to be good, right? And I'm like, yo, I know your background. I know where you come from. I understand. I get it. And I think just as a Star Wars fan alone, Michael, they got to nail this, right?
Yeah, they have. I mean, I think this open world Star Wars is like that one last undiscovered market that has been tapped in the Star Wars franchise. Because I mean, they've hit everything else. I mean, they've had a plethora of amazing video games. Sure. This is like that one that I think fans have been clamoring for decades. Like, imagine Star Wars meets, you know, whatever open world you want to put in there. And I think you're right. They have to nail this because there is tremendous pressure and a tremendous fan base, not only of gamers, but I think outside gamers, Star Wars fans would just say, I want to check this out because this is my universe.
Yeah, no, absolutely, right? You live and breathe this world sometimes. There's so many fans. My mother-in-law is one of the biggest Star Wars fans I have ever met. Like, you walk into her office and it's just Star Wars. Like, all over the... I'm like, what is it? It's like a shrine to Star Wars. Like, it is nuts, right? Obviously old school, but still cool to go in there and go, damn, this is pretty neat. But for me now to get into where we're going, right? Dude, the Jedi series. Incredible, right? Mm-hmm. Jedi Survivor was a fantastic game. Open level, not open world. That's the difference in that design of the game. It is massive by overthought, and the way you're able to kind of traverse through things. The verticality in that game I thought was incredible. I thought the world looked incredible. It looked amazing. It definitely had some technical hiccups right out the gate. Now, getting back into the Ubisoft DNA, dude, we've all done the Far Cry. We've all done the Assassin's Creed. Climb the tower, clear out the outpost. You know, get your eagle vision going across, and you can just pan around so much and different things. But you do fall into this trap of, it's Ubisoft, right? Here's your objective over there. Go clear out the outpost. Go do this. Go do that. At one point, I remember with the Assassin's Creed, you always had to tail people, and then you were timed. Now they've gone away from that, which is fantastic to see in Assassin's Creed. I don't expect to see anything like that. Dude, if we're a scoundrel, I bet we are eavesdropping, and then we're looking for clues and hints and tailing people. But the time thing has to go. Nobody wants that, man. It was always a hindrance of, all right, now you're out of reach. You lost sight of them. Meanwhile, you're on top of the building looking down. You can see them, right? It's just one of those things. You do understand a Ubisoft title. So how much different are they going to make it? Massive is different, dude. You played The Division, you played The Division 2. You know they have a different perspective when it comes to making games.
I'm still getting flashbacks of your target's not in sight, restart the mission. And I'm looking right at them.
It's a nightmare.
You gave me flashbacks of nightmares. And but no, I think you're totally right. I think we need to see how different this is going to be. I think, I'll be honest, I'm hyped for this game, but I'm still always that guy who like wants to be a Jedi, right? Like I really am gonna be a little bit bummed if you don't get the sort of like the lightsaber, the force powers. I'll be honest, but I think you're right. I think it's got to be its own niche. But I mean, as you said, this is a great studio. They pulled off some amazing things with The Division. As long as I'm not trailing someone through space or through a planet, I'll be happy. As long as it's not a time trail mission, I'll be good.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. I hope we don't do the Jedi thing, because we've always done that, right? That's always been here's a Star Wars game, you need to be a Jedi. Here, I just want to be a straight up thief, right? I want to be in that GTA feel, but in a Star Wars universe, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? That's the desire here. If you are the bad guy, the scoundrel in a sense, we'll see if Kay can pull it off as a character. There's a lot to be, proven still. But Corey from the team previewed the game over at Summer Game Fest, and he said, dude, this game is awesome. So there's a lot of hype coming from Corey, and we're going to hold him to it. We want to know from you, though, Star Wars Outlaws, where is this place on your radar? Hit us up, itgtv.com.